Guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while now, then you know the ocean is just not a friend of mine. It's not even like I'm a weak swimmer or a bad one. I'm actually a very good swimmer, I just don't like the ocean. It's too deep, after a certain point it's too dark, and I don't know what's under there. I have a phobia of sharks so serious it disgusts me. Like, I always joke around and complain about wanting them to go extinct, and all you warriors just come at me in the comments like, believe me, I know they barely kill people, I know I'm being irrational, I know they're important for the food pyramid, just let me be terrified at peace. And considering we've uncovered like 5% of the ocean, for all I know, a megalodon could be the other 95. What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and welcome back to another video. Today we're diving into the top 10 scary secrets hidden under the ocean. Starting us off at number 10 is the bloop. The bloop. This one is very weird, and considering how many ocean related videos I've done, I don't get how I've never heard of this story before. Either way, back in 1997, the iconic year of my birth, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration discovered the screeching bloop sound coming from the depths of the ocean. Of course, they unironically labeled the sound the bloop, which I found rather hilarious. Scientists at the organization tried hard to figure out what the sound was or what it was coming from, but they couldn't crack the mystery. They speculated it could be due to glacial movement, but speculation is as good as a rumor. Bet you weren't expecting that. Coming in at number 9 is the Great White Cafe. You know that meme of that guy who's like, oh hell no? That's literally me right now. Great White Cafe? Excuse me while I remove myself from the surface of this earth. Goodbye, or it's been nice. This oceanic beast has haunted me from the beginning of time. I see them when I close my eyes in the shower, in a pool, even in a hot tub. These apex predators usually travel alone, except for once a year where a bunch of them migrate to an exact area around Hawaii. This monster vacation was nicknamed the Great White Cafe by the researchers who discovered it, and they also have no idea why the sharks do it. The area they go to is like a watery version of an arid wasteland with zero prey, so it makes no sense why they gather there to begin with. Some people think it's for sexual reasons, but they also dive thousands of feet deep together at regular intervals, which also doesn't make sense. The last theory is that they're all going there to eat a giant squid. I don't care what they're doing. If they want to stay there forever, that's fine. Just group together in this low place in Hawaii. Stay there. At number 8 we have the vents. So a hydrothermal vent is a fissure that's located on the sea floor which releases extremely hot plumes. They're usually found near active volcanoes since the tectonic plates are moving more around there, and thus there are more hot spots. The vents can come in two variations. We have black smokers, white smokers. Black smokers can be found in both shallow and deep water and usually emit plumes that have high levels of sulfur in them, and they're extremely hot. White smokers on the other hand emit lighter hued minerals like calcium and silicone and are less hot since they're further away from the heat source. Some of the hottest plumes can reach temperatures as high as 464 degrees Celsius, which can literally melt your flesh if you even touch it. Deep sea flesh melting vents. Gotta love it. Filling at number 7 slot is the cesspool. We as a species still have yet to quantify the amount of different strains of bacteria that are found in the ocean. Scientists can't even wrap their heads around how many variations there are. It's literally possible to contract so many diseases from the ocean like hepatitis, MRSA, Legionnaire's disease, and even schistosome sicarial dermatitis. The last one occurs when certain parasites in the water come into contact with our skin. Think of how much shit people throw in the ocean, you guys. Researchers have estimated that 90 million cases of respiratory, eye, ear, stomach, and skin illnesses are caused by bacteria in the waterways. There's also no national requirement to post signage that a beach is contaminated, so you'll never know whether the water you're going into is clean or not, but I can 110% guarantee it is not. Now, at number 6 is the killer jellyfish. So of all the animals that can kill you in the ocean, apparently one of the most dangerous and venomous ones is the box jellyfish. This cube-shaped jellyfish produces highly potent venom that can be fatal to humans. Unlike other jellyfish, this species actively hunts its prey and can reach a speed of up to 2 meters per second. When the venom enters our body, it turns our cells porous, which allows potassium to leak and cause hyperkalemia, which in turn can lead to cardiovascular collapse and then death. And all that, what I just said there, occurs within 2 to 5 minutes. The killer jellyfish also causes more deaths than sharks annually and usually kills any human that it stings. Thankfully, they only live for around 88 days and end up growing growing only to a max length of 6 inches, so they're not a threat for long until of course they reproduce. And then the cycle just starts all over again. That is the circle of life. Coming in at number 5 is the Brittlestar City. So it was discovered that a species of red and orange starfish relatives called brittlestars managed to colonize the flanks of a giant underwater peak. For some context, brittlestars usually have 5 whip-like arms that are 60 centimeters long each, and this incident is very interesting considering they like to live in shallow waters for the most part. Macquarie Ridge is an 870-mile underwater mountain range that goes from the south of New Zealand all the way to just about the Antarctic Circle. The peak juts up into a circumpolar current that goes 2.5 miles per hour, which is perfect for the brittlestars to just grab food and be like, nom nom nom. I don't know if that's how they do it, but in my head that's how they do it. And number 4 is the UFO. Obviously there has to be something alien related under the ocean, there's literally no way there isn't. So back in December of 2014, the site Earth We Are One published an article showcasing a UFO-shaped disc at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. After looking at pictures of it, I realized it really resembles the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars to an uncanny degree. The divers that discovered it said all their equipment stopped working when they got within 200 meters of this thing. Stefan Hogeborn, one of the divers, said all their equipment only started working after they moved away from the disc. There also seemed to be a 985-foot runway leading up to the object, meaning it skid quite a bit before stopping where it did. What does it know? Where they at though? Who dat though? Filling at number 3 slot are underwater spiders. Spiders above water are honestly bad enough. They're terrifying, they're ugly, and I don't need them around. So imagine my dismay and complete shock when I found out that there are certain arachnids that can breathe underwater. Well, not without assistance. The Argiorinetta aquatica basically captures a bubble from the surface of the water using the hairs on its abdomen. It then traps that air within its bell-shaped web and breathes that oxygen in by carrying it around like a little oxygen tank. The spider essentially makes a DIY gill, which is actually very cool, and it works indefinitely. Just imagining a little spider carrying on a little web bubble is actually kind of cute. Maybe all spiders can migrate underwater and stay there. Now at number 2 is the sea serpent. In August of 1848, Captain McCuhay of the HMS Daedalus claimed he saw a giant sea serpent between St. Helena and the Cape of Good Hope. The serpent had its head 4 feet above water and the other 60 feet of it was just under the water. The crew described it as super fast and that they watched it for a total of 20 minutes. The public speculated that the captain and crew had probably just seen a whale, but how could experienced sailors not know the difference between a whale and a giant serpent? Seems sus. Their case is reaffirmed when an American brig called Daphne saw the beast as well, and I quote, "It had the appearance of a huge serpent or snake with a dragon's head. They shot at it a bunch of times and it plunged its head into the water, clearly having been affected by the weapons. The Daphne pursued the beast for a while, but it ultimately was too fast for them." What the hell was that creature, and is the ocean still hiding it? Like, where is it now? And finally, at number 1 is flesh-eating bacteria. The Vibrio fulnificus species of bacteria can be found in mostly warm, salty or brackish water. This bacteria can cause a flesh-eating disease in humans called necrotizing fasciitis, and that usually results in death or amputations. People can contract a Vibrio infection after either eating raw shellfish from the contaminated water or simply swimming in it with an open wound. In 2019, there was a huge spike in people being infected by this bacteria. 50-year-old David Ireland from Florida died after fighting necrotizing fasciitis for 2 weeks. Doctors removed 25% of his skin during 3 surgeries, but the infection proved fatal. Many cases were reported in the US that year, and climate change is causing the water to be warmer in places it's usually not, which means the bacteria is spawning in places it shouldn't be. And that is it for today's video, guys. If I already was hesitant to go into the ocean, I'm just never gonna go in after this video. It's just not for me personally. Some people are meant for the water and some people are not. I'm not. I hate it. I don't want to do it. I'm never gonna go on a cruise. Nobody can make me. Either way, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. As always, I'm your host, Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Skin illnesses. This cube-shaped jellyfish. I don't know what I'm saying here. 50-year-old David Ireland from Florida died after fighting necrotizing fasciitis. 50-year-old David Ireland from Florida died after fighting necrotizing fasciitis, yeah.